you were doing some research on how we can store clean energy, because one of the biggest issues with clean energy is how are we going to store it and get it to the places where we need it and access it when we want it.
Exactly.
Because when we have, solar panels and wind, what happens when there's no wind and there's no sun out, right? So
Yes.
here's a solution that we found.
Totally. So it's a new development that happened in a lab at MIT, where these researchers say they've developed an energy storage system that could allow homes and other infrastructure to store their own power in concrete. So basically, the way that this happens is they can create this system called a supercapacitor out of cement, water, and carbon. And so there's this material called black carbon that when it's mixed with concrete and water, the concrete and water mix really well together, but the black carbon does not. So instead it kind of forms this web throughout the solution. And this web, the branches of this web provide the pathways to store energy within the concrete. What's so cool about this is because cement is the main component, this energy storage system could be incorporated into buildings and roads.
Right.
And so for roads, this is awesome because cars could be charged, electric vehicles could be charged as they drive along roads.
That sounds so futuristic.
Yeah.
That sounds insane.
It's amazing. This is the type of stuff that's like, okay, if we can get this onto the market soon, maybe this can cause the exponential increases in renewable energy usage that we really need. This could also work for houses, right? So if you have a house built on a clean energy grid, or you have a network of houses maybe built on it, you're worried about not being able to power those houses when there is no wind blowing, when there is no sun shining.
And there's a big snowstorm.
Exactly. But if the foundations of these houses are batteries in and of themselves that can charge up more in times when there is more sun and more wind,
Yep.
then you have your intermittent energy solution.
Which is just amazing.
Yeah. And so the researchers mentioned that there was a potential problem in that mixing the black carbon into this solution can make the cement less structurally sound.
Yeah.
But even after that, they said they think they found a sweet spot there where 90% cement and 10%, I've been saying black carbon, is carbon black. 10% carbon black maintains the strength of the cement and allows the supercapacitor to hold a large amount of energy.
That's huge.
So right now it's still supposed to be years from municipal or commercial use, but it's really exciting.
Right, and that's one of the, again, we've talked about this. We are at the point of climate change, of the climate change fight, where we got to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, right?
Totally.
Another thing that I've read that's similar to this, I don't know all the science the way you did about this solution, but using sand, large cylinders of sand as batteries and storing the kinetic energy in the sand.
Wow.
And then, as the same principle, no heat, no sun, no wind, charged from the foundation, no heat, no sun, no wind, gets charged from your sand generator that's been storing all of this kinetic energy.
That's so cool.
Right? And that I've seen on some working prototypes of.
Okay.
Yes. So that's like, I think that's more possible and more in the near future.
Okay.
Which is good.
And this is why legislation like the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, is so important, because it allocates a lot of money not only for projects to build out clean energy infrastructure, but also to fund research like this.
And the research is what's going to save us.
Exactly. The research is how you get, again, the exponential gains rather than just the linear incremental ones.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't see exponential gains in renewables, because we currently do, especially in states like Texas. Texas is now 50% renewable, right? The renewable increases in those types of states in the Midwest are going to go through the roof.
Yes. The renewable increases over time will be exponential.
Yeah.
But the cost... kind of the cost benefit ratio.
Yeah.
Only research and new science
can
will be able to increase that.
Beautiful.